FNF as like that's his perfect baby that like shows
his
off everything
foundation.
and
Yeah.
does it. Yeah, and does exactly what he wants, like as far as an agenda goes. Like that's what he wants, and he likes that the most. You could say, I guess, but I don't think that that's exactly it's one of those things how they push like you should have a 10% body, you should have 10% finances, like
Mm.
you should be top 10% in all these things, but you shouldn't shoot for a relationship, even though it might be a 10% chance of being successful because we all know how women are today, and it's harder than ever to find a good one. Like I understand it's probably about a 10% chance. So, but why wouldn't we push people to do that as well? You know, because you're going to be just like I'm truly believe I'm very successful for my age, and I know it's because of my skills with women, and I know it's because of the relationships I've been in and stuff. Like you don't get anywhere by yourself. Like you stand on the shoulders of giants, and it's not even the big giants of the people that you read about, but
Mm.
also help people, the small people around you that push you to that.
Okay. So like I said, like that's good to know that you said that you're in with the whole relationship interdynamic thing, because like honestly, like watching the show, I was thinking like, man, like is he on the same FNF train? Like is he just trying to pump the same knowledge that like women need to just submit to the guys, and just girls need to be able to be okay with the whole cheating thing and blah blah blah. And then I heard you a couple times said that you actually in a relationship, so I was like, which way is he going with this whole thing? But yeah, you just broke it down to me, so I get it now. I understand it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really not for cheating. I always tell people like I don't think that you should cheat. Like I'm for like taking the moral route or trying to be a man of integrity and
Mm.
stuff. Like I really do think those are things that we should all strive for. But I also understand that certain guys have so many people throwing themselves at them that it's like very hard, you know.
Yeah.
I understand that there's certain high value men out there that you can't say that to, you know.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
and I can that's the problem with relationships and just everything today is understanding. And it's just like you don't have to date those guys, you know. Like
Exactly.
you can date, guys. There's a plumber that's 5'8" that you pass up all the time, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like I teach that, and that's what the show. That's why I didn't really end it, but like what I'm really doing with the show now is I teach these women. Like I really, and I have 4 sisters. I have
Okay.
two
Okay.
moms. I have a daughter. I've had 5 serious relationships. Like I'm very in tune with women. Like
Okay.
I grew up in a hair salon. Like my mom owned a hair salon, so I was
Yeah.
around women my whole life.
Okay.
And so I wanted like even before I did this show, I've always been a regular at Hooters, at different restaurants. My whole friend group is women. I've
Mm.
always had nothing but a friend group of women and best friends that are girls. So like so I've already had all these conversations I have with these girls. I've already had for the last decade, but it's just been like with a bunch of Hooters girls or a bunch of like girls that are just like my friends and stuff like that. And I'm just always like a contrarian to the trouble that they're going through in their relationships. I was like, why do you allow them to do that? Like, I like my life has been a red pill case study, and like I didn't have to ever learn. I never had to read Rollo's book or anything to become red pill. Like I'm very red pill from just like experiencing women my entire life a lot,
Mm.
and so I really want to teach these women. Like I have a daughter that's 3 years old, and I want the world to be better for her. Like I want to know exactly how to teach her how to move better in the dating marketplace, and the way I'm going to learn that is by talking to women every two times a week,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
practicing talking to all these women, because like sometimes you learn so much like about tonal issues, about how respectful people are. Like it's really weird. Like every episode is different based off of how respectful the girls are. Like the last 2 episodes were amazing. Every girl was super respectful
Mm.
and nobody was talking over each other. Like there was a few jokes, but nothing was ever too much of a low blow or anything crazy. But then the episode before that, it was horrible. The girl kept talking over me, a huge contrarian, like disagreeing just with everything.
Okay.
And you can tell those are the type of girls that will never get in relationships. And I'm trying to prove that. I'm trying to prove that FNF like is always like, oh, there's so many girls in Miami that aren't like everywhere else, and they're always like, no, everywhere
Yeah,
is like
no,
this.
there's
And
no
it's
way,
like, no,
man. Like I said,
No,
like
no,
I mean,
no.
you're in a major city. You know what I'm saying? Like Dallas is like one of the biggest. Like we're like 20, 30 minutes from like LA. Like this is like the dynamic I see. Like the girls that we have on our show that we look at, and that anything that's on FNF, I'd be like, it's like no way we can't even have the same conversations because they live differently. The
Yeah, it's
geographic,
way different.
yeah,
Way
the
different.
geographic parts on where everybody is at, the money, the trend, the lifestyles is all different. So I understand everybody's wants the red pill point when they're listening to FNF, but like they have to understand that geographic has a lot to play with when the women say not everyone is like that.
Yeah, not everybody's going to be that 100, 6-figure guy, 6
Yeah.
foot,
The plumber that makes 50K right now. What I'm trying to teach these girls is that plumber that makes 50K right now, he's gonna make 100K in 5 to 10 years. Like that's a great career that once they get to journeyman, they're gonna be doing great. So like what they don't understand is like they don't know how to invest in the right type of men. Like they don't understand. So like I'm teaching them all types of stuff like that. Like that's the main basis of my show now. Is I tell them to go to networking events and charity events, especially the girls that are a little bit older. I'm teaching them, like if you have too many bodies, it's not always good to date down to these guys because you can be alpha widowed by certain experiences you've had from too many men. So like sometimes. Sometimes I tell them don't even fuck because you'll ruin that guy that only has 2 or 3 bodies that's like super low experience compared to you, and you're just gonna fuck yourself up either more for 2 or 3 years, So like sometimes those women are fucked and they have to go for an alpha and they got to learn how to lock down the alpha. So I have a whole different strategy of how they lock down an alpha guy, if they and so like it just depends who you're talking to. Like every one of these girls is in a different situation. So I try to give really good advice for all of them to get into relationships. Like I think healing the world starts with relationships.
Yeah, that's good. I like your message. Okay. Real quick, briefly, give me what's your version. I've seen it on a couple episodes. What is an example and a version of how do you see it? What is a simp man?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get asked this a lot. So a lot of people disagree with me on this, but I think a simp is just somebody that's giving too much compared to what they're giving you. So like don't get me. There are a lot of girls get mad when I say this stuff because they think that means on a first date I'm not doing anything. It's like no, I put my best foot forward on a first date. Like that's not simping. Putting your best foot forward, taking them to a decent place, looking nice. Going to a place afterwards, just doing like the good things to like put your best foot forward to show a good day, a good time, I guess you can say a good experience. Okay. That's not simping. What's simping to me is doing that multiple times. Like I'll take a girl on a few dates, but honestly, I know she doesn't have burning genuine desire for me if she didn't sleep with me on the first date. I've had serious relationships multiple times, and the best ones were always the ones where that happened. So I really try to teach men not to take those girls that make them wait 3 or 4 times. And like, you're just, I don't know, like it just, I don't think that she's gonna care about you like she did like that guy that she fucked like a couple of years like before,
So what would you see? So a guy that goes on a date maybe 5 times, you think that's too many?
Yeah, I would not even get close to wasting every guy is different because it just depends on their abundance mindset. Like I've always had a really strong abundance mindset, so I'm not gonna sit there and waste time on certain type of women. It just depends how really. I mean, if the girl's super beautiful, I feel like I might have done more than 3 or 4, but I can't really remember for my past if I did. I really tried to not waste my time after 2 dates. To me, it was a waste of money. I knew that this girl would. To me, it was just like because I try to put my best foot forward every time. So I'm not going to sit there and do it multiple times, like 3, 4 weeks. Like if you don't like me, you don't like me, and that's cool. Like I'm not going to
just end up as a free dinner.
Yeah, I'm not going to become a simp at that point, And then it's the same in a relationship too, or it's the same in anything. Like I think a guy liking pictures and slipping on Instagram. I think DMing a girl too much or messaging girls too much, and them barely giving you any attention back. And basically, like what Coach is it CGA who talks about this?
Yeah.
I think your meat. You got to protect your meat, your money, energy, attention, and your time.
Yeah.
And so I really truly believe that if a guy is giving out any of that shit too much, he's fucking up. And the thing is, you want the girl kind of chasing you. Like every good relationship is the girl kind of chasing you. So you always got to hold on to your meat. And as much as she asks for it, you got to give little bits and pieces sometimes because you give too much. They're just going to take advantage of it, and then you're going to become a simp. You're giving too much at that point. And there's a lot of guys who are simps financially, or with their energy, like texting girls all the time, with the likes, like they like in every girl's picture in the fucking world, thinking that that's gonna make them like them or something. Bro, it's the goofiest thing ever. That girl is never gonna fuck you because